guys, today I want to tell you something interesting about spider silk, so let's start. Spider silk is a wonder material that weight for weight is stronger than steel, tougher than Kevlar, and can be more elastic than rubber. It's also flexible and antimicrobial. Scientists have used silk to make bulletproof armor, violin strings, medical bandages, optical fiber cables, and even extravagant clothing. I don't think people would believe you if you told them there's this creature that, if you scale it up to the size of the human, it could catch an aeroplane with the material that it makes itself out of itself, says Fritz Wohlratz, as evolutionary biologist at the University of Oxford. Spider silk is made of a blend of different proteins linked together into chain produced by special glands called spinnerets on the spider's rear end. All spiders produce silk. Some spiders can produce several different kinds, but not necessarily as webs like those depicted in Halloween decorations. Here are some bizarre ways spiders use their silk beyond the static webs they employ to snag their prey. Silk as a passive web for bugs to fly into may be the least interesting spider hunting method of all. To catch their next meal, spiders may use their silk as nets or as lessons, whips, binds, disguises, fishing lines, and lures. Most spiders avoid ants because they are often predatory themselves, but one family of spiders treats ants as Joe. When the wall spider gets an ant alone, it runs circles around its victim, all the while churning out a silk cord and wrapping the ant from a safe distance. After the ant is all trundled up, the spider goes in for the kill by chomping the ant at the base of the antennae. The orange-faced spider spins a web as a snare, but deploys it in an unusual way. It waves a web between its four front legs, holds the creation wide open while hanging upside down and waits. Once an insect wanders by, it snaps its prey, using its web as a net. This net-casting hunter can catch prey wandering beneath or even flying in the mid-air, like a lacrosse player captures the ball. Then the victorious spider bundles up its prey and kills it. In 1883, the Krakatoa Volcano in present-day Indonesia erupted with the force of over 10,000 hydrogen bombs, obliterating most of the islands and converting it into a leafless wasteland. 3 months later, visiting scientists were surprised to find one life form present in the region: microscopic spiders. These spiders weren't on the newborn island because they survived the blast. Rather, they had traveled in the aftermath of the eruption by ballooning. Now, a well-known phenomenon, ballooning occurs when spiders stream their silk into the air, catching the winds like a sail for aloft. Spiders have been found in the middle of the ocean, hitching a ride on the jet stream, and on remote islands hundreds of miles from the mainland. Not all spiders balloon to travel extreme distances. Some rely on it to flee from predators or cover short lands without expending much energy. When a spider balloons, it literally tiptoes and hoists its abdomen towards the skies. It doesn't always need favorable winds to kite off. Breezes are better than gusts, but instead relies on electrostatic repulsion to generate most of the lift. Spider silk is negatively charged, similar to the surface of Earth that's negatively charged up by the 40,000 daily thunderstorms around the world. Like charges repel, so the force pushes the silk off the ground to help the spider take flight. Spiders can sense electric fields with the hairs on their legs, so they may lift a limb to survey the atmospheric conditions before executing a great escape. Orb-weaving spiders don't just construct their homes from silk. Some of the spiders make an effort to decorate it too. The waves throw out their webs, stripes of thickly banded silk called Stabile Manta. Scientists first thought these structures worked to stabilize the web, but the theory was disproved. After they found that the patterns were only loosely knitted into the, into the web's fabric. Today, the function of Stabile Manta is still a mystery, but several hypotheses seek to explain it. Since the Stabile Manta are woven only by daytime roaming spiders, researchers have guessed that these spiders intend for their elaborate web designs to be seen. The popping patterns might be used to camouflage the spiders by obscuring the silhouette of the spider. Scientists think they may also increase the pervasive size of the spider. Other leading theories include that these structures reflect more ultraviolet light in the same way flowers and foliage do, attracting more insects to the structures. Alternatively, they could serve as a stop sign the birds don't accidentally fly into it and damage the web. The downside of these woven motifs is that they seem to also draw more spider-eating spiders by making a web look more conspicuous to these visual hunters. As protection from the elements, jumping spiders roam freely during the day, but at night or in the midst of cold or rain, they will spin themselves a silken shelter. Jumping spiders use these pup-tents to shed their external shell safely, store their egg sacs, or hibernate. One scientist has speculated that the ability to spin cozy cocoons that insulate the spider from the cold is one reason the Himalayan jumping spider can survive the frigid temperatures at elevations of 22,000 feet, making it one of the highest dwelling non-migratory animals in the world. as buffers against tides. One spider spins cocoons to protect itself from the daily tides where it dwells. The deceased spiders scuttle amidst coral, abandoned seashells, and the bottoms of kelp on the beach during low tides. When the water rises, the spiders seal themselves in these nooks and crannies with waterproof silk. Researchers have found that the spider lowers its breathing to reduce how fast it burns through the oxygen in its air pocket. Scientists still have questions, such as how the web can withstand salt or how the spider keeps time with the tide as underwater breathing tanks. Only one arachnid lives most of its life underwater. The diving bell spider, like all other terrestrial spiders, it only breathes air. Before it submerges, it glooms a bubble onto its posterior as a temporary scuba tank. For a longer-term solution, it spins an air-filled, dome-shaped diving bell with silk and aquatic vegetation as its underwater home. Diving bell spiders pump up their homes using bubbles they gather from the water surface. Their silken layer permits the exchange of gas molecules to the surrounding water. Scientists have measured oxygen diffusing into the diving bell and carbon dioxide diffusing out to facilitate a spider's breathing. For this reason, scientists have even likened the homespan structure to a gill. In oxygen-poor waters, these spiders will expand the size of their homes to stuff in more air. Also, the gas exchange is efficient. Eventually, the diving bells shrink, so the spiders need to resurface on once a day to gather bubbles for reinflation. As door hingers to burrows. Trapdoor spiders and tarantulas will use silks to reinforce the tunnels that they make. So it's like a building material, says Sebastian Echeverry, a spider researcher and communicator. Among his 19 pet spiders, his favorites are his two trapdoor spiders. This kind of spider furnishes its home with a solid door made of soil, leaves, and silk. The hinge of the door in particular is spun from silk. These arachnids keep the door shut in the morning and leave it open as they hunt at night, when the spiders are more active. Radiating from the entryway are trails of silk threads that act as trip lines. When a victim touches these threads, the ambush hunters will sense their vibrations through the silken bones. The doors serve as protection, especially against their predatory arch nemesis, parasitic wasps. In the event of an attack, the trapdoor spiders use their fangs to hold the door shut. A move oddly reminiscent of a grumpy human teenager, but the stinging predators usually win out by chewing through the flap. The oldest known spider in the wild, a trapdoor spider, residing in southwest Australia, died in 2016 at the age of 43 when it was killed by a parasitic wasp that raided its home. As community hubs. not all spiders are lone hunters. Researchers know 25 social species out of the 45,000 described. Social spiders often live together in colonies up to 50,000 strong. Also, a membership of around 1,000 is usually the optimum size. Working together, such an army of arachnids can build impressive homes of silk. The Anolosimus eximus spider colony in South America can spin webs spanning 25 feet in length, constituting one of the largest silken sanctuaries in the natural world. Only the female members, outnumbering the males, upwards of 5 to 1, work together to build, repair, and clean their home. The large numbers of the colony and gargantuan web come in handy when the spiders go after larger prey that an individual can take on alone. The spiders works as a team to bring down these larger insects, such as grasshoppers or butterflies, but by overwhelming the victims with their numbers. If the anomalous webs are distributed by predatory swarms of ants or wasps, the spider troops can mount a defense in return. The vibrations of the interlopers are easily transmitted to the vast webs, which disables any surprise attack. The victor of the battle, spider or device, will have a bountiful meal from the fallen. Large webs of silk are no good against larger animals, especially birds that pilfered the silk to adorn their own nests, as drinking fountains. While spiders usually quench their thirst by sucking on the juices on their prey, they can also hydrate themselves the traditional way by imbibing directly from the water droplets or small puddles. To help themselves a trip to the water hole, they occasionally sip on the droplets that condense on their webs. Spider silk can be excellent at drawing moisture from the air. Researchers studied the silk of cribellate spiders and found that the key to its water collecting property in the fibe's shifting structure itself. In the presence of humidity, the filaments scrunch up into knotty puffs spaced between smooth, untangled threads to look like threaded beds on a string. These knotty puffs are moisture magnets. When water condenses onto the silk, the droplets will slide along the smooth regions towards the puffs and coalesce into larger globules there. The body structure of the silk is so efficient at sucking water out of thin air that it inspired scientists to develop similar materials in hopes to harvest water from fog. The proteins in spider silk are a valuable commodity. Making silk demands energy on the spider's part, so sometimes it will eat its own silk, allowing its body to recycle the proteins to make new silk. Many spiders routinely tear down their webs and begin again, so they may as well recycle their building materials. The argyroid spiders, or death-drop spider, take silk eating to a whole new level by robbing other spider silk. This spider is a kleptoparasite, which means it prefers the insect bounty of other spiders rather than hunt of its own. So guys, that's it for today. I wish you a good day and bye bye.